Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about the client server architecture fundamentals. Actually, in every organization we know that there are a number of applications for running their day-to-day operations. These applications are mostly operating on the client server model. In the client server model, the user interact with the client. The client sends requests to the server to get the resources from server, and the server services the client with the responses. This is the way the client server is operating. In this client server model, what happens? A number of clients are sending their request to the server, and the server processes all these requests, and the response for every client will be sent by the server. That is the client server architecture. Clients are those who request for the services or resources, and server means the resource provider. So server provides the services to all the clients, in maybe hundreds or thousands of clients that are approaching the server. The server services these requests to those clients at the appropriate way, for which they have got several programs at this end for sharing resources to its clients. Server means services. Services are nothing but the programs. There are a number of programs running in the server side. These programs serve the client. It is hundreds or thousands of clients and properly utilizing the resources available in the server. The client server can be on the same system or maybe in a network. That is, in the same system we can use the client program as well as the server program, or we can use a different machines, one for client or another one for server, and the client may be thousands of clients. And in this case, if it is more than one client, then we can use more than one machine as clients. The servers can be connected with the clients through the network. So this is the way the client and server are connected through this kind of architecture. In the client server architecture, when the client's computer sends a request for data to the server through the internet, the server processes and delivers the data packets to the client. So in the server can simultaneously services a number of clients. So every client sends their request to the server, then the server accepts the request and using its resources to get a response for that particular client, and those responses will be sent to the client through the data packets. This is the way the client server are communicating each other. An example of a client server computing system is a web server. We know that in a web server, in a web applications, the browsers are the client. We send our request through any one of the browsers to the server. Likewise, there are a number of users. They can send their request to the server through their browsers, and the server sends back the HTML pages, nothing but web pages, to the clients based on their request. So this is the way the web server is working or servicing for the clients. So the web server is one of the example of client server architecture. The client model can be two types of client model. One is called thin client model and another one is fat client model. In thin client model, what happens is all the processing, that is processing the data, transforming the data, any business logic that can be applied to the data, all those things of processing are happening in server side. The client only receives only sends the request and receives the data from the server as response that will be displayed in the client server machine. So here the client is doing very lightweight work. That is the reason it is called a thin client. There is no further processing or applying any business logic on the data happen in the thin client model of the clients. The another one client model is fat client model. Here the processing of data, transforming the data, or applying the business rules, or verifying the data, the client also does this kind of activities with server. So the load is shared between the client and the server. So here the client is not only doing the light work of sending request and receiving response, along with they can also be used to process data further or applying the business rules before displaying to the user. So this kind of client model is called a fat client model. Thank you. In our next video, we are going to discuss about the 3-tier client server architecture model. Thank you.